Good morning, everybody. Apologize for being a little late, but Mother Nature, or Morpheus, had me wrapped deeply in his arms this morning, and my alarm clock did not counter that. So overnight, I think the biggest news is hard news, is that Greece has asked for a delay in their IMF payments. More articles out that Greece will be leaving the European Union. It's a tough transition, and the reason for that is that European banks buy EU sovereign debt, and there's a lot of Greece sovereign debt on the bank's books, I think to the tune of $260 billion and getting worse. Greece has been honest. They've said they can't repay their debt. So that's where we are on that one. Right now, I think the easiest trade to see is failure to get through this 21.5, 22.5. So 2024 is sell 1, then 27 to the buck is sell 2. If the E-mini sells today, I would not be on the short side of financials. Had a breakout from 16 basically right here. Let's rotate down in London, stopped at 12, so 13 to 17, pretty aggressive. Buy 1, obviously we'd like to get that done closer to 12 than to 16. Buy 2 will be 5 to 9. Today's news, housing starts, 104. Permits, plus 1.085. The only place you can go out and get a loan today without any questions are apartments, so the people will be looking at that spread between single family and apartments, and I imagine apartments will continue to win. Jobless claims, 280. And Philly Fed, it was plus 6.5. So Philly Fed could come in lower than forecast. The housing numbers are all over. Jobless claims, 280, 285 would be where my guess would be. That's kind of a default number. Then housing starts and permits, who knows? Those numbers can be manipulated and played with pretty easily and are. But the hard news overnight is Greece has asked for a delay in payment to the IMF. They are so dependent upon cash dispersals from the European Central Bank, the EU essentially, that and that's not going to change. So they will continue to be a part of the news. How do you resolve this endless spending, this borrowing to spend? I mean, it's just for countries, they're like banks. They fail overnight. They revalue their currencies. They do something like that. For an individual, you can no longer borrow money. And if you can't cash flow it at that time, you declare bankruptcy. The situation is similar, although countries can do it for a hell of a lot longer than individuals can. See, Big Ben Bernanke has joined the Citadel, the world's biggest high-frequency trading firm. Time to get rich. Go to Washington, put your time in, go through that revolving door and become a millionaire. Also overnight, the Clintons have decided that they are going to keep raising money, their foundation, from foreign entities. You know, one of the things that I've seen and observed for a long time is that as long as one of the Clintons is in a position to be the next president of the United States, that foreign money rolls in. It's a get-rich. I've always thought that Hillary wasn't serious about running for president. It was to give that foundation their last big push, you know, to raise a couple $100 billion or more. You talk about a conflict of interest. You talk about, I think Louis Frey put it best when he was under testimony under the impeachment for Bill. They asked him how he viewed the Clintons, and he said, as a criminal enterprise. The closest thing that he saw in his personal experience was the mafia, and I don't think he was too far off. So get all the money that you can, yeah, either way she wins. And I don't know if she's going to, right now, I mean, she is the lead candidate for the Democrats. O'Malley, I guess, would be the second. He was so good that the Maryland, which is a heavy Democrat state, voted him out of office and put a Republican in, just as Massachusetts put a Republican in behind a Democrat when things got so bad. So the fiscal policy, it's nice as long as you can continue to borrow, but the second you can no longer borrow and reality hits home, it's a pretty grim awakening. What's the model? Municipal, county, and state bankruptcies, redoing of pension funds. It'll be kind of take what you get, like Rhode Island did. Say, yep, all true. Sue us. There's no money there. Would you like 25 cents on the dollar? Why, hell no, you can't do that to us. Where's the money going to come from? Sue us. And so what do they do in that I think it was a municipality in Rhode Island. They took a 75% haircut on their pension. Same way in Detroit. Detroit, I think they've taken, or talking about taking, a 50% haircut on their pensions. And that's the reality. When there is no more money to pay for it, you will readjust, and it won't be painless. Okay, the Greek news probably is what is supporting gold. Again, things are, I mean, just everywhere. There's enough bad news out there that would make anybody, no matter what you paid for your gold, hesitant to get rid of it. I think silver is a better disaster hedge because it's a lot easier to trade. It goes in smaller increments, but gold's right there with it. I guess the general population can trade in silver, and those people that the politicians rail against to stay in office can trade in gold. Yeah, it is, Jeff, but I mean, you're not talking about $1,200 an ounce. You're talking about $20, give or take, an ounce. That's, I mean, in the normal population out there, it's probably a little bit easier to move it around and get what you want than it is with the gold. Could you make a change on this 1 ounce gold coin? I know they come in tenths, but I think it's an easier trade. Okay, the euro, 107.75. 750, 107.75. Kind of, this is prime sell territory. Then 8 plus or minus would be kind of the backup. On the buy side, London's low was 106.35, so 675 buy one, and obviously you got to get through 07. And again, then 40 to 50 is buy two. It's just where support and resistance are. With the Greek news out, either way, you know, every time a decision, they come to making a decision, the euro rallies into it. They make the decision, then it comes back. I think, again, the long-term direction of the euro is lower. And the reason for that, again, still is if you're a monetarist or a Keynesian, not a monetarist, but a Keynesian, devaluing your currency is the fastest way to increase your export business. And it works for a while. No doubt about that. Okay, crude oil. If I can find it. There it is. The news articles this morning, Saudi Arabia adds half a Bakken in 1 month to the production, and everybody knows that Saudi Arabia is a swing producer. tomorrow we will roll to the June contract. I'm going to do it tonight when the market closes. And contract expiration shorts probably had something to do with yesterday's rally. So we're at 55.18. You can see this spill. So 50 to 75, sell 1. 56, 56 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, I'm going to screw things up here a little bit. Had the breakout from 55 and 54.50 essentially. So buy 1. We'll make 54.50, 54.75. Sorry for the confusion. And then 54, 54 and a quarter, buy 2. So basically 54, 54, 50 is probably pretty good support, and 56, 56 56 and a 50, 56.50 is pretty good resistance. And last but not least, the E-mini. China's stock market was up 2.5%. Hong Kong and Japan were negligible. Europe got slammed. And the E-mini went with Europe. So you can see right here the selling started in London at 2100. So we're right back. Where's the attractor? The high volume number most recent in the market's memory, so this 89 area. So today's news, permits 1.084. I like that fine tuning. Starts 1.04. Now in contraction or sideways economies, the focus is starts. In an expanding economy, the focus is permits. Can they keep this going? 280, 285. I've seen 280, 284. Econodays carrying 280 for jobless claims, and Philly Fed at 6.5%. So Philly Fed is clearly one of them that can come in less than forecast. So can starts. Jobless claims, I think we're working our default number. I don't think a lot of people pay much attention to it anymore. Okay, we're going to play for stops below the overnight session low. This high volume number down here, we're going to try 85, 87, and 80, 82 on the buy side. The spill came from 95 right here, so 95, 97, sell 1. The buck to 02, sell 2. And it's going to take me a bit to get caught up. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as I can.